Best friends Troy Driscoll and Josh Long are only minutes into a fishing trip when a violent riptide drags them out to sea.
It has no mercy. I mean, it's gonna kill you regardless if you like it or not.
The boys spend 6 days battling for their lives. And without food or water, they're pushed to the limits of survival.
I just simply asked Josh to kill me. I didn't want to be there no more.
We don't want to die yet. We're too young to die.
When we woke up, we were bored, didn't have nothing to do. It was actually my idea to take the boat in the ocean. We can paddle it, I'm sure. What can go wrong?
Josh,
What?
let's take the boat out today.
In the river?
Screw the river, man. Let's do the ocean. Shark fishing.
Troy, shark fishing.
Troy was just, like a younger brother to me. He stayed probably the whole summer at my house.
Come on, man, be great. Get a new pole, get in the boat on the sea, catch a shark, you're set.
The best thing about Josh is he'll always be your friend. Once he commits as your friend, he's gonna have your back. He'll never leave you.
Let's go fishing.
What's the matter with you? Well, here she is. My baby.
First time I saw the boat, I laughed because I was expecting, something a lot nicer. It's a project, it floats.
She's looking good.
Troy, do you want to go fishing or what?
Yes, I do.
Best friends, 17-year-old Josh Long and 15-year-old Troy Driscoll, head off to Sullivan's Island, a popular fishing spot just off the coast of South Carolina.
The weather was great. The part of the beach that we put in was actually very calm.
Josh has only just finished rebuilding the boat. It has no engines or sail and is completely untried at sea.
We actually never used the boat before we put it in the ocean.
What's with the wetsuit?
I know, in case you might want to swim or something. The water's still a little cold.
What are you, a baby?
What you say?
Nothing.
The two boys have fished the waters around Sullivan's Island many times before and have no concerns.
We just plan on being out there, just for a few hours and then going home, and getting ready for school the next day.
Ready?
Yeah.
After 3. 1, 2.
No, wait! Forgot the bait.
Troy, this is a fishing trip.
I just had my cell phone in my pocket, and my dad's real straight about cell phones, and he was paying for mine at the time, and I knew I wasn't gonna mess it up. So I just put it right back in the truck.
Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, pull! Okay, row.
We kind of got an idea of, hey, let's go paddle between those sandbars over there. Sharks and fish probably get in the gullies because it's 2 sandbars.
and everything seemed good. We were making good leeway. He was paddling on the front and I was paddling on the back.
I was having fun. I was bouncing up and down.
Wow, man! Whitewater style.
But in their excitement to go fishing, the boys don't check the Coast Guard warnings. There's a powerful riptide forecast for that morning, right in the waters where they're paddling.
And we were almost to the sandbar when we just got hit by the current.
Hey, we're drifting.
I figured it was a joke, So I was enjoying the moment. I was, hey, this is fun, we don't have no control. Hey, this is great.
Wow, man!
But, Josh then grew real serious real quick.
No!
What's the matter?
Kurt, we need to get out of here. Go, man, go.
I knew we were in a current, and then I realized that, we were actually going backwards. So, I tried paddling harder.
And the harder we paddle and the more energy we burn, it seemed like we weren't getting nowhere.
The boys are fully caught in the riptide, and it's dragging them away from shore and out to the open ocean.
When I realized how far we went in such short a time, I was like, this thing is really powerful.
Go, keep going.
Still going out!
Stop. Stop here. Yeah.
Well, we threw the anchor out, trying to get it to hook on to something,
It wasn't doing its job. It wasn't anchoring us or holding us in one position. Sure enough, we just kept drifting further out. It was no match for the current.
Paddle, Troy, on.
Oh, Josh, man, my arms.
Come on, Troy.
I don't think it's working.
Keep going.
There's a bunch of people out there running and, jogging and walking.
Hey! Hey! Over here! Hey!
And we were hoping that one of them would have seen us.
We tried to get their attention, but nobody, heard us. We were already that far out.
It's taken just minutes for the boys and their tiny boat to be dragged hundreds of yards out to sea and into serious trouble.
We both talked to each other and saying, we're not going nowhere. This isn't helping. We got to do something different. We got to come up with a different plan.
We gotta do something.
Stay here.
What do you do?
So I put the top of my wetsuit on, I put my fins on, and I started swimming.
Josh's plan is to swim to the sandbar with the anchor rope and then pull the boat to safety. In a panic, Troy also tries to swim for the sandbar, but straight away feels the force of the current.
John!
I was almost there, and then I look back and see Troy struggling.
It feels like something's trying to just pull me under. I just feel all my energy being sucked out of my body. And once you run out of energy and you can't swim against it, it has no mercy. It's gonna kill you regardless if you like it or not. I just told Josh I can't do it.
I went under again!
We were being pulled out to sea at a very fast pace, and couldn't do anything about it.
Just 20 minutes after setting off on an innocent fishing trip, the two schoolboys' day out is going badly wrong as they're dragged out into the Atlantic Ocean. Alone in a tiny boat, they have no water, food, or mobile phones. And their ordeal has only just begun.
John, get him!
just killed me.
Troy, we're gonna come get us soon. Don't worry, okay?
I told Troy, I said, well, you know, they're gonna come look for us. They're gonna find us. So I was like, you know, and I told him, I said, I'm just gonna fish, you know, while we're waiting.
Shark fishing. Come on, man. Give me my new rod.
Right as I got the pole rigged up and I stood up to cast it, a wave hit the side of the boat and knocked me over, and I knocked over my brand new fishing pole in the water.
No, my new pole! No!
He lost his brand new pole, and that really ticked him off a lot, and he pretty much lost it.
Stupid fishing trip! My new rod!
Everything I did was getting, you know, screwed somehow that day. It was definitely one of my temper tantrums.
Whoa, cool it, man. Yeah, this isn't gonna help, is it?
Shut up, man.
I knew he lost a fishing pole, but that was the least of my worries. You know, I was like, hey man, listen, this isn't what we need to do right now. You don't need to be cussing. You don't need to be throwing stuff. You know, we need to be here as a team. You know, we came in it together, and we were gonna go out together.
Crazy, man. You're losing your mind on me.
Sorry, man.
Crazy.
As dusk falls, and with no sign of rescue, the boys begin to take stock of their situation.
Josh,
What?
when are they gonna come?
I don't know, Troy.
How will they find us?
I don't know.
But they don't know where we are. What's gonna happen then? Are we just gonna drift around in the ocean at night?
Troy.
Yeah? Shut the hell up.
You know, I was telling him, I was like, Troy, we've only been out here for, you know, one day. I said, they're gonna realize tonight that we didn't come home, and they'll be out here the next morning.
Okay?
Okay.
I knew it wasn't good, you know. We don't see land, we don't have a cell phone, and we don't have food or water, but it's the first, you know, couple hours into the trip, so somebody's gonna realize, okay, the boys are not home, something's not right, and we need to go look for them.
They're coming. I know they're coming.
The boys haven't been seen for over 10 hours. And back on shore, Josh's father calls for help.
Hello, is that the Coast Guard station? I want to report my son and his best friend missing.
They were saying, where did the boys put in at? That was their first question. They want to know where, what the description of the boys, and where they would have put the boat in.
God, I mean, we have no idea where they went. No, they didn't say a thing. Yeah.
The Coast Guard can't mount a search until they know exactly where the boat was launched from.
Okay, thanks.
So Josh's father now begins his own search to find where the boys might have entered the water.
I had no idea where the boys were at, and very, very concerned that we haven't heard anything, no calls, and we kept searching until past 4 o'clock in the morning.
Josh's father first checks the river, where he believes the boys have gone fishing.
No, Connie. I checked the river, but nothing.
Finding nothing there, he also checks the ocean shore, close to Sullivan's Island.
I went out on the beach. I walked until I stopped probably about 100 yards from where the trailer was. But his car was black. So, I mean, I drove right past it, didn't see the car.
With no sighting of where the boys have launched, no search is mounted that night.
Hi, Debbie. What? What, they're not going to launch anything tonight? Or anything at all? Really? All right.
Out on the ocean, the two boys are still drifting in their tiny boat. Alone, they face their first night out at sea, in the middle of a storm.
The first night, I barely slept. We were very, very cold.
Strong waves begin to batter the tiny boat, and the temperature plummets to below freezing.
It's coming in too fast. We're all right, we're all right.
When a wave would come, it would pull that side of the boat down and water would come over.
Yeah. Come on.
You know, it felt like ice hitting you. You know, all in all, we were, you know, freezing to death.
John, keep moving. Keep moving, okay?
Couldn't feel our hands. We were shivering. We pretty much, we had to cuddle with each other, you know, just for body heat. It was that bad.
Suffering the extreme nighttime cold makes the boys realize just how much peril they're in. Panic turns to terror as they face up to the reality that their lives are in real danger.
The first night was filled with a lot of emotion. Our mood, you know, went from being, okay, we're gonna get rescued, to, okay, you know, why are we still here? There should have been a boat, there should have been a helicopter, you know, what's going on?
You know, when we looked out that morning, there was nothing. We realized that we were, you know, so far off that we were gonna, you know, the land was now out of the option.
I did a 360 as I twisted around and saw nothing but waves and ocean, and there's nowhere to go.
After a night shivering in freezing temperatures, Josh and Troy now endure over 23 degrees of relentless heat.
We had no shade. Anybody who knows, you know, who's been in salt water and their clothes dry after being wet, it's really crusty, salty. It was wear and tear on our skin.
Every so often, I would get in the water. Just basically cool off in the water.
You know, we swim around. It got our mind off of the situation.
So cool!
Oh, yeah.
But the boys are swimming in waters notorious for sharks.
All of a sudden, we look down, and there's a shark that raced up and hit the boat.
The boys realize their predicament with seconds to spare.
And we looked down, and the water was so clear, there was a shark. It was a good size. It was about 7-8 feet. There's a few of them just circling under our boat. So we were like, you know, that's it. We're not jumping in no more.
Back on shore, Josh's father receives dramatic news from the Coast Guard.
Hello? Hi.
We got a call, I believe it was around 10:30, telling me they had found Joshua's car.
Well, where was it? Sullivan's Island, but...
And then my heart immediately dropped. I knew they were on the ocean, my worst fear.
Right, yeah, I'll meet you there. Okay.
The Coast Guard has been searching for the boys' truck and has found it right on the ocean's edge.
I drove right past them. We need the key, sir. Sure, sir.
They opened up the glove box. They found both their cell phones and their wallets.
Knowing where the boys entered the water, the Coast Guard is now able to mount a full-scale search.
A church down the street had opened their doors, and they allowed us to come into their recreation center, and we pretty much started to congregate there. The press started to show up. All of their friends started to show up. People from around the community. I mean, it was literally hundreds of people started to show up at this church.
Now, we have people on land. We have boats in the water.
How do you know they're actually in this area?
Sir, let me show you. Okay, what we've done is we've taken our computer models and we calculate that the boat could not have gone any further than here.
I was concerned, but I was very confident that that day we would find them. That, you know, with all this effort, with all these planes, with all the helos out there, that we were going to find these boys that day. I just almost had no doubt that they were going to be found that day.
But the boys have already drifted 90 miles further north, beyond the Coast Guard's search area. Out at sea, Josh and Troy are battling the elements. They've drunk no water for over 24 hours.
So thirsty.
And are experiencing severe dehydration. Their bodies have lost over 3 pints of fluid, causing muscle cramps, headaches, and extreme disorientation. They're desperate for something to drink.
Very hot. I mean, there's pretty much no clouds in the sky. As the day progressed on and it got hotter, the water was very clear. Our mouths became drier and we were just thirsty. So it was almost tempting to drink.
So Troy and I decided, hey, well, we'll gargle it and spit it back out. And that way you have something wet in your mouth and, you know, it'll kind of, it's cold, so it'll help us a little bit, but we won't swallow it.
It wasn't good, but just have something cold in your mouth, that's all we needed.
The boys know that drinking the salty seawater will dehydrate them even further. But they're now so desperate, they find it impossible to resist.
It was horrible. I mean, it's a bad day when you know that's the only thing you have to drink. But what you're drinking's killing you and hurting you.
Weakened by dehydration, the boys are also suffering extremes of weather. Nighttime brings another severe drop in temperature. And with no protection against the biting cold, the boys have only each other's body heat to keep themselves warm.
We got to stay up. We got to keep ourselves dry. Let's cuddle. Let's talk to each other. Let's communicate. Let's make sure we're okay.
Stay with me.
In the church, Josh's father is keeping an all-night vigil for his boy.
Any news?
Nothing.
The Coast Guard?
They're back out in the morning.
You look tired. Why don't you try and get some sleep tonight?
Hey, I'm not sleeping whilst my son is out there.
But you're gonna be no use to the boy if you fall over exhausted.
Yeah, okay, come on.
Let me lock up.
The boys wake on their third morning with a sense of despair. Then, on the horizon, a ray of hope finally appears.
Hey! Hey! Help! Help us! Please! Please help us!
It looked like a matchbox boat, you know, so little.
Hey! Help us!
A fishing boat is passing, just 100 yards away. The end of their ordeal is now surely only moments away.
Help us!
We yelled at the top of our lungs, tried to get somebody to see us, you know.
Please help us!
But it was like a needle in a haystack. We were so small.
Help us, please!
They just turned and kept on going.
Please help us! Come on! Come on! Why don't they see us?
It was good to see something else, but you know, they didn't stop. So you know, we lost a lot of hope.
The boys begin to realize how unlikely it is that they will be spotted in the vast ocean.
We knew that there was no way they're going to find us because the ocean's so big. And if they hadn't found us yet, they weren't going to find us.
And how helpless their situation now is.
You're in the hands of the ocean, and you can't do anything about it. It's either you're gonna suck it up, and you're gonna try to survive and hang in there, or you're gonna give up and you're gonna die.
Morning.
Josh's father, Eddie, begins yet another day's search for the boys, determined to remain optimistic.
Okay, people, now, I know that we're all tired, but this is the day. We are gonna find them today. We're not gonna give up, because they are out there.
Every day when I would get up on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, I would just think, today's the day we're gonna find the boys.
As well as the Coast Guard search, Eddie also keeps up his own lookout on the ocean.
Well, the search got bigger every day. I mean, because we knew we had more distance we had to cover. The boat could have traveled more distance every day.
Despite a massive Coast Guard and community search, there's still no sign of the two boys.
It was like Groundhog Day. Every day was the same day. You know, you wake up, there's water. There's nothing else but water.
They're suffering from extreme dehydration. Only their youth and good health are keeping them alive.
Well, when you have nothing to eat or drink, you know, for days, you know, it starts to really hurt, like wear on your body. I really didn't understand the meaning of starving or parched or, you know, dehydrated until then.
The dehydration is now life-threatening. The chemical balance of their bodies is undergoing serious change, and they require urgent medical attention. But despite the desperate need for water, all Troy can think about is food and how hungry he is.
I noticed my hands were peeling pretty bad because it was so hot. I was so dried out. So, you know, I decided to take a little piece of my skin off my hand and I balled up and put it on a hook we had left over in the boat. And, you know, I kept doing it, and the little fish every time won.
It's not working.
The boys failed to catch any fish. But Troy is now so desperate, he's prepared to eat almost anything.
You know, I had to have something in my mouth, something that had texture, some type of meat.
Troy, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Why you got the knife?
I'm gonna do it, Josh. I just need something to eat.
What? Don't be sick.
Well, I seen him over on the side of the boat with a knife in his hand, and he was kind of just touching it to his skin, but he wasn't like cutting it. He was just touching it to see how sharp, I guess, it was.
What the hell are you doing? What's the matter with you?
Can you do it?
What?
Do it,
Shut
please.
up, man.
So I asked Josh, you know, can you please cut my finger off, you know? With me looking away, just go down on it as hard as you can.
Please, shut up. Please do it.
You ask me that again and I will knock you out. Do you understand? You crazy? Cut your own finger off? What's the matter with you, Troy?
most of the islands around Charleston.
Back on shore, after 3 days of searching, the Coast Guard gives Josh's father some devastating news.
Anything?
Nothing.
Right, well, first light, we're going to target Lake Marion.
Mr. Long.
Then we're going to go down to Ashley Riverbanks. The other mine are on the ground.
Mr. Long, we've been searching for 3 days. This has been the most extensive search in South Carolina's history, and we found nothing.
No, you can't call off the search.
I'm truly sorry. There's nothing more we can do.
Please.
Coast Guard came to us and said they're going to officially call off the search. And now they're going to switch it from a rescue to a recovery.
I'm sorry.
Starting first thing in the morning, they were going to just start coming to the beaches looking for the bodies. I just totally couldn't believe that they're going to stop searching for the boys. It melted my heart to know my little boy was possibly gone.
Knowing the Coast Guard has now called off the search, Eddie is left with little more than his faith.
How are you, Edward?
They're still out there. I just know that they're still out there.
Throughout the whole thing, I just had to rely on prayer. I just realized that this was going to be, in God's hands to bring these boys through.
Out at sea, the boys are facing up to the reality that they may never be rescued.
You okay? Yeah.
I didn't think I was gonna ever have a future. I thought my 15 years on the earth was it.
Every time we thought of our family, our parents, it was just real emotional.
Talking, man.
We both, looked at each other, and we were very, very sad, very nervous, very scared.
We were both trying to doze off, and I fell asleep, and he was already asleep. And next thing I wake up to a sound of an engine.
The boys have been woken by a huge cargo ship heading directly towards them.
Troy, wake up!
I've never been close to something that big. It was stories upon stories high. At the same time, it was so close, it seemed like I could touch it.
Hey! Hey! Stop! Stop! Stop!
Just as the boys had given up all hope of being rescued, it seems help has finally arrived.
Stop!
But the enormous ship doesn't stop and is now about to run over them.
Come on! Hold on!
Incredibly, the swell of the ship pushes the boys just out of its path and saves them from almost certain death.
Come back! Come back!
They can only watch as their final hope of being rescued disappears into the night.
If they're not gonna rescue us, we're only feet away from them. They're definitely not gonna rescue us when we're, a couple hundred or 1,000 feet away. It just wasn't gonna happen. We're simply a needle in a haystack.
The boys have now been out at sea for over 5 days, and with no food or water, are in the most extreme stage of dehydration. They've lost pints of water, over 20% of their body fluids. Their vital organs are shutting down, and they're drifting in and out of consciousness. Few people ever survive this long without water.
My body.
It hurts.
I didn't want to be there no more. I didn't want to be out in the middle of the water. I was suffering, and it was a slow death. I was ready to go home to God.
Stop! Stop it!
I can't take this anymore.
Come on.
It's not all right.
All right?
Even though Josh tries to stay strong for his younger friend, he's also battling his own demons.
Josh? Josh? Josh?
We didn't believe in suicide, but I was just swimming in the water. I just was like, if I went down as deep as I can go, you know, I swam down probably about 35, 40 feet.
Josh! Josh!
If a shark grabs me, don't try to save me. I was like, just let him eat me. I'm not gonna put up a fight. And then I thought, you know, what I might lose, you know, what I'm missing out as far as growing up and how my family's gonna move on without me. All those emotions run through your head.
Josh! 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 What are you doing?
I came back to the surface and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna let God go when he wants to because I can't do it.
I would go back and forth the whole time to hang on to hope, but also realizing that they might be gone. And that was a struggle, and not knowing they were out in the water, knowing that if they're out there, what is the condition? If they're not out there, and if they're gone, you know, how long before we can bring a closure to this? Every night when I would come home and drive down the street, someone in my neighborhood lined the entire street with bags with candles in them. So when I drove home, it took me right up to my house. The bags and the candles were out every single night. I was going to have to get ready for what I thought would be the memorial service once the bodies were found.
When we get back, I get to work in my truck. So when you're 16, I teach you to drive.
Towards the end of the week, you could tell he was starting to get real weak. He really had nothing left in him. He didn't want to hardly move. Basically, I keep trying to wake him up because I thought, you know, I really didn't want him to die.
Trot. Trot.
I didn't want to be in the boat no more. I want to be dead. I just simply asked Josh to kill me.
You kill me, will you? Stab me, put an end to this.
You're talking crazy talk.
I'm done.
I can't.
Sure.
I can't do it, man, never.
Troy asked me if I would stab him. And I just told him that there's no way I could do that. Because if Troy had died, I wouldn't be able to come home, even if they did find us. Because I couldn't go home and tell his parents that I let their baby boy die.
Come on.
Troy has now completely lost the will to live. His best friend won't kill him, so he tries one last desperate attempt to put an end to the ordeal.
See that?
Every night you'd see like little glow-in-the-dark little balls, and they're called jelly balls.
Troy now sees the jelly balls as not only something to eat, but a possible way out.
If it's poisonous, you know, and it kills me, hopefully I die a peaceful, you know, a peaceful death. I wasn't just gonna eat a little bit and get real sick and suffer even more. I was gonna eat a lot, and if they were poisonous, you know, I was gonna go out on the first hit.
But the jelly balls have no effect. And now the boys can do nothing but await a slow, agonizing death.
We pretty much realized that we were just waiting on to die. We didn't know how much longer we'd be alive.
Be over soon.
Of course, we both cried, saying, we don't want to die yet. We're too young to die.
You know you're dying, but you're dying slowly, and it's painful, and it's long, and every second that you're alive, you're dying at the same time. I knew I didn't have much longer.
In fact, their dehydration is now so advanced that they literally have only a few more hours left to live.
We should write something down.
Summoning the last of their energy, the boys scratch out their final goodbyes to the families they're leaving behind.
We loved them and we're sorry, and I thanked everybody for their support. And basically just said that I'm sorry for what happened.
I remember writing to my mom and my dad, you know, specifically saying, thanks for everything you've done for me. Thanks for teaching me what you've taught me.
The two schoolboys are staring into the abyss. They'd given up on life and can do no more than await death's final call.
Josh, I hear something.
Well, as me and Josh laid in the boat, I heard the roar of a boat again.
It's getting louder. Looks like it is you. It's getting closer.
I see this huge fishing boat coming straight at us. So at that time, I, jerked Josh. I was like, you gotta get up.
Josh. Help us! Hey! Help me! Help us! Please! Help us!
I was crying, but at the same time, it was like I wasn't crying because I had nothing to cry. I was just screaming, hey, please help us. Please, we need help.
Help! Come on! Over here, please!
The two boys are just a speck in the ocean. But unlike the boats on previous days, this time they've been spotted.
So basically, we knew they saw us. We kind of just started, basically just gave each other a huge hug, and we're like, this is a miracle, I can't believe we're actually getting saved.
Come on, guys! One at a time, one at a time.
the captain reached over and, you know, pulled me up because I barely had any energy to get up. And, you know, I flopped on the deck.
Need some water? Some water. Come on. Get you up here. You okay? You okay?
I couldn't understand him because they were whining, whimpering, happy, sad, the whole 9 yards. But one of the first things that Troy said to me, he asked me if I believe in God. And I said, well, yeah, I guess I do now. Because miracles happen.
Some water with you. Thank you, man. Thank you. Got you, man. You're safe now. You're safe. You are so lucky. Yeah. Better now, huh? Catch me through the Coast Guard.
Hello?
It was the Coast Guard. And he said, we have your son. Would you like to speak with him? And I said, put him on. And when I first heard his voice, it didn't even sound like Josh. It sounded so weak, and he was so incredibly weak. But he started saying, Dad, I love you. And to hear his voice, it was a true miracle. There's no doubt in my mind that it was a true miracle.
Doctors believed that the two boys were within hours of death when they were rescued.
He looked so thin and so exhausted, but he just, from the moment I walked in the door, he was just, Dad, I love you, I love you.
I love you too, darling.
It was hard to believe that we made it out alive. We were expecting the worst. Troy and I knew we were just waiting on dying. And you know, I couldn't believe that we got a second chance.
Josh has used his second chance to become a family man. He married his high school sweetheart and now has a baby boy. Troy has gone on to fulfill his lifetime ambition to become a firefighter.
I have a lot of faith in my own self now. If I ever face anything that, you know, might be difficult, then I'm not going to give up.